the statues deal is basically an assault on Confederates in the United States, and Winston Churchill in particular in Great Britain. Now, the Confederate stuff has some merit. So Robert E. Lee, all right, I was going to use a CNN soundbite, but I'm not going to do that. Robert E. Lee was a brilliant general, educated at West Point. If you read Killing Lincoln, you can see how he himself, because of his tactics, elongated the Civil War. Had they not had him, the Civil War would have been over a lot sooner. But Lee was a slave owner, and he did not treat his slaves very well. He was a Virginian. I have a letter from Robert E. Lee explaining that he fought for the South because of quote-unquote states' rights, but the primary states' rights was slavery. You know, there's some tariff stuff, but it was slavery. Read Killing Lincoln. So Lee, I would say his statue, in a historical sense, is fine, but you can't glorify Robert E. Lee. And the kids should be taught the truth about the man. Now, part of the reason of the statue defacement and all that is so that the far left can say we're a lousy, terrible country and we need to change everything because the original founding fathers were all racist, bigot, exploitation people. So we got to wipe out everything they did. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, everything. And we have to spin a brave new world of socialism. Did you know that among the first 12 presidents, that's George Washington to Zachary Taylor, only 2 did not own slaves, John Adams and his son, John Quincy Adams, both of whom were abolitionists, but both of whom understood that if you did abolish slavery by executive order, you'd have a war. And none of the 12 presidents wanted a war. So they put that above emancipation. And finally, it reached the level where there was a war. So every president outside of the Adamses, we're talking Washington, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, and Taylor, owned slaves. So we're going to wipe their legacies out? Oh, yeah. In Portland, Oregon, outside of Thomas Jefferson High School, they took the statue down. Let's see it. All right? That's Thomas Jefferson lying in the gutter. Anybody arrested? No. Because Portland, Oregon buys into the fact, city fathers of Portland, Oregon buy into the fact that we are a terrible country. Just as the doctor explained, we owe people because of our sins. Okay? So that's what's happening. And in England, they're doing pretty much the same thing. Winston Churchill was terrible because he was a colonialist, because he propped up the British Empire. See? And they want Churchill out of there so they can start a new socialist country in Great Britain. It's the same thing. All right. Boris Johnson, by the way, the Prime Minister of Britain, says don't buy into this. Don't go to these protests because they're all engineered by the far left, which is absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Bill O'Reilly is back on TV and only on The First. No Spin News, every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on The First.